Welcome to the Fighter Index, where every attribute matters. Today's matchup is Amir Albazi and Kyoji Horiguchi, who meet in the co-main event on UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas on February 7th. Amir Albazi's style is built on control, pressure, and high fight IQ. He consistently dictates where fights take place, using smart clinch work and takedowns to force grappling exchanges. On the ground, he excels at maintaining dominant positions, especially from the back. Albazi fights patiently, avoids unnecessary risks, and wins rounds through composure, discipline, and positional control. Amir Albazi's style also comes with clear trade-offs. His striking lacks consistent finishing threat, which can allow opponents to stay comfortable at range if they defend takedowns. Because much of his success relies on grappling control, his effectiveness can drop when opponents disengage quickly or neutralize clinch exchanges. Albazi also prioritizes control over damage, which can make rounds appear closer on the scorecards, especially against high-output or harder-hitting opponents. Kyoji Horiguchi is a fast, well-rounded fighter, known for his speed, technique, and adaptability. He excels at managing distance with sharp footwork and clean striking, constantly creating angles to stay ahead of opponents. Horiguchi blends his striking with strong wrestling defense and opportunistic grappling, making him difficult to control. His pace, durability, and fight IQ allow him to compete effectively across all phases, giving him multiple paths to victory against elite competition. Kyoji Horiguchi's style also has limitations. His reliance on speed and movement can leave him vulnerable to strong pressure fighters who cut off the cage. While technical, his striking doesn't always carry one-shot finishing power, allowing durable opponents to stay competitive. Horiguchi can also struggle in prolonged clinch or grappling-heavy exchanges, where his advantages in speed and range are reduced. Amir Albazi enters with a 17-2 record and a 5-1 run in the UFC. He stands 5'5", owns a 68-inch reach, and fights out of an orthodox stance, relying on control and consistency. Across from him, Kyoji Horiguchi brings veteran experience with a 35-5 record and 8-1 in the UFC. Also 5'5", with a 63-inch reach. Horiguchi fights orthodox as well, pairing speed and technique with elite-level experience. When you compare Amir Albazi and Kyoji Horiguchi, the numbers tell two different stories. Albazi holds a slight win rate edge at 89.5% to 87.5%, but the real gap is in finishes. Albazi ends 82.4% of his wins, constantly pushing to close fights. Horiguchi finishes 60% of the time, favoring control and pace, but when he does finish, it's often violent, with 42.9% of his wins by KO or TKO compared to Albazi's 29.4%. The biggest contrast is on the ground. Albazi thrives there, securing submissions in 52.9% of his victories. Horiguchi, by comparison, sits at 17.1%, relying far more on movement and striking. And that difference shows in the decisions. Horiguchi goes the distance 40% of the time, while Albazi does so just 17.6%. Now it's time to break these fighters down using the Fighter Index scale. We break down each phase of the fight and score each attribute to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of a fighter's game. In the first Fighter Index pillar, Fight IQ and Athletic Tools, the contrast comes down to how each fighter wins exchanges. Starting with Fight IQ, Amir Albazi sets the tone, scoring a 9 thanks to his composure, patience, and smart decision-making. Kyoji Horiguchi follows closely with an 8, relying more on experience and natural feel than calculated control. When it comes to athleticism, Horiguchi takes the lead. His 9 reflects elite speed, explosiveness, and movement, while Albazi's 8 highlights efficiency and timing over raw physical tools. In stamina, Albazi regains the edge with a 9, allowing him to apply steady pressure deep into fights. Horiguchi's 8 still supports a high pace, but with slightly less consistency late. Finally, resolve is even across the board. Both fighters earn a 9, showing elite toughness, mental strength, and the ability to stay composed under fire. In the second Fighter Index pillar, striking and stand-up defense, the differences become more pronounced. Starting with striking, Kyoji Horiguchi takes the lead with a 9, showcasing speed, precision, and variety, while Amir Albazi scores an 8, using his striking more as a setup tool than a primary weapon. In the clinch, both fighters are evenly matched, each earning a 7, showing solid fundamentals without it being a defining area for either. When it comes to striking defense, Horiguchi again holds the edge with an 8, relying on movement and awareness, while Albazi sits at a 7, prioritizing pressure over evasiveness. Finally, in chin, Horiguchi scores an 8, reflecting durability against high-level competition, while Albazi comes in at a 7, steady but less proven in extended striking exchanges. Overall, this pillar favors Horiguchi's technical striking and defensive reliability over Albazi's functional, pressure-based stand-up. The third fighter index pillar, grappling and control, highlights where Amir Albazi begins to separate himself. Starting with wrestling, both fighters score a 7, showing solid fundamentals without either having a clear edge in pure takedown exchanges. In takedown offense, Albazi takes the lead with an 8, using timing and pressure to create entries, while Kyoji Horiguchi scores a 6, relying more on defensive reactions than proactive shots. When it comes to top control, Albazi again holds the advantage with an 8, consistently maintaining position and limiting scrambles. Horiguchi follows with a 7, effective but less dominant. Finally, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Albazi scores an 8, reflecting his comfort advancing position and threatening submissions. Horiguchi sits at a 7, capable defensively but less aggressive on the mat. Overall, this pillar favors Albazi's control, pressure, and submission-oriented grappling. The fourth fighter index pillar, defense, scrambles, and ground survival, highlights Albazi's ability to stay safe and regain control. Starting with takedown defense, Amir Albazi holds the edge with an 8, showing strong balance and awareness, while Kyoji Horiguchi scores a 7, solid but more susceptible to pressure entries. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu defense, both fighters score an 8, demonstrating strong submission awareness and the ability to survive bad positions. When fighting off the back, Albazi again leads with a 7, using composure and smart movement to limit damage, while Horiguchi comes in at a 6, preferring to avoid prolonged bottom positions. The biggest gap appears in scrambles. Albazi excels here with a 9, consistently winning transitions and regaining advantageous positions. Horiguchi scores a 7, effective but less dominant in extended scramble-heavy sequences. This pillar strongly favors Albazi's ability to defend, recover, and turn chaos into control. When it comes to the overall fighter index score, Amir Albazi holds a narrow edge. He comes in at an 8.8, reflecting his consistency, control, and ability to win fights across multiple phases. Kyoji Horiguchi follows closely with an 8.5, driven by elite athleticism, speed, and striking skill. It's a tight margin, but the numbers slightly favor Albazi's well-rounded, pressure-based approach. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more fighter breakdowns and fighter index scores.